Hello, my friends. My name is Linda Doggy, and welcome to Technique Tuesday. This is something I do every Tuesday at 2 p.m., the same time as right now. And I'm on the east coast of Australia, so that's 2 p.m. Sydney time. Even though I don't actually live in Sydney, I live north of there, but I think that's the easiest for everyone to know what time it is. If we are joined by people from other areas, I know we have very often people that pop in from the US or Canada. Hey, Roz, you're in Florida, aren't you? Who else do we have? We have Sheila in New Zealand. Who's our international guest today? I'm just looking through all the comments and seeing. And Nicole, you're in Perth. That almost might as well be overseas. I know that's not right, but gosh, you guys are sometimes just seem so far away. And where else is anyone else popping in? Janine, you're here from Colorado. There you go. So anyone else, whether you're international or you're not international, Holly in Wyoming is here. Do you know, I think I've said this before, Holly, but the suburb that I live in on the east coast of Australia, the next suburb to us is called Wyoming. So it's not the same one that you're in, though. You're in Wyoming, way over on the other side of the world. Hey, Bev, nice to see you. Hi, Kerry. Hey, Marlene. Lorraine and Cherie. Hello. Just popping in. Does it mean you're not staying in? You're not staying with us today, Cherie? I know, not the same Wyoming, right? All right, so I'm going to get started. We'll get straight into today's video. And today I'm actually, if you notice the thumbnail, today I actually decided to go with a bundle. The reason I've done this is because we have some brand new products out today. Today is the day that the March online exclusives have been released, and that means they are available to view in the online store, but they don't appear in a catalog anywhere. So that is the reason. And they release on new online exclusives every second month. So every 2 months, we have a new group of online exclusive products. And it doesn't mean you have to buy them online. You can still buy them through a demonstrator if that's how you like to do your shopping. I'll take down, sorry, right now up on the screen, I just noticed I've got my blog address. So quickly before I get rid of that, if you would like to join my newsletter list to get newsletters on a regular basis, or if you wish to go over and do some shopping of Stampin' Up products, that's where you go. www.lookwhatimade.com.au, and that is my blog address. And there's a whole bunch. There's years and years and years and years worth of products in there. There's some free tutorials. There's some paid tutorials. There's a whole bunch of different things. And I would love it if you went over there and subscribed to my newsletter so that you can hear what's new every week. I just wanted to go. Yeah, sure. Sheila's saying that everyone is overseas from her because she's in New Zealand. We are. I think so. Actually, I was chatting to a customer of mine at the moment, and she is actually in Abu Dhabi. That's where she's living right now with her husband, and so that's a bit of a concern. That's a worry. And Michelle, if you are watching, I'm thinking of you. I can't imagine what it might be living over there at the moment. It's crazy. All right, I'm going to continue so we don't all get sidetracked, and we're going to switch over to the desk, and I'll get rid of that banner so it doesn't interfere with what we're doing. And go to comments so I can see them, and let's switch. There we go. All right, this is a brand new set that just came out today, okay? It is called Rolling Waves, as the name here suggests, and it consists of a stamp set and dies, okay? And when I first saw this, I loved it straight away because we used to have a set, some of you may remember, called Waves of the Ocean. Do you remember that one? And I had a lot of fun with that set, so much fun to do different things with. But this is the closest I've seen to that one, but it is quite different. And I looked at the dies in particular. Let's open them up. You can see there's some little shells and starfish, and then some shells by themselves that actually match up with these ones here. Okay. Then there are some different wave shapes. There's an umbrella. Actually, these two together make one umbrella if you want a stripy umbrella. And then we've got a palm leaf, or kind of like a palm leaf there. You've got the dies, but the stamps were out of stock. Ah, there you go. Well, I'm going to show you today. We're going to make some waves, okay? I mean, in a good way, we're going to make waves. And I'll show you the cards that I made this morning with this. Okay, so this was the first card I made with this set. And I actually made the waves just with the stamps. I didn't use the dies at all. I did, of course, use the dies for the umbrella and the shells, but I didn't use the dies at all for the waves. I wanted to see if I could go ahead, if I could actually make the waves without the dies. Okay. Ah, yes, it's an umbrella. It's not a spider's web. That's right. I can see why you thought that, though. It hadn't occurred to me until you said that. And then I made this one. I haven't actually put a sentiment on it yet, but I made this one like in a landscape version, and this is more like waves out to sea, choppy waves out to sea. That's kind of what I wanted that to look like. So there's a few different wonderful things that you can do with this. So these are I'm actually going to show you how I did the water here just with the stamps, and then I'm going to show you how the dies work. Okay, so don't ever stand up in a canoe. No, that is a bad idea. That's a bad idea. I certainly would be for me. My balance is not too bad, but it's not good enough to stand up in a canoe. So, all right. So let's open these first. And I've actually already got one sitting on a block. I actually put this one on block E, length like from corner to corner, because if you put it from straight, it's this block E isn't quite long enough. But if you do it corner to corner, diagonally, it does actually fit the whole stamp. Okay, so yeah, it is quite an arty set, Kerry. So so that's what I liked about it, because I thought, oh, there's so many things you could do with this. And what I make today in this video certainly won't be everything you see me doing with this over the next little while, but I did want to show, just get people started. And you know what, if you haven't checked out the other things that are in the online exclusives available today, they are all in the online store. So if you go, I'm going to put it up again. If you go to this address, which is here we go, lookwhatimade.com.au, there is a shop now button, and that will take you to the store, and you can shop all the online exclusives there. And if you go ask to show new arrivals, it will also show you the kits that went up today. And there's some really nice kits. I've purchased them. I hope to be able to show you those on Friday night if they arrive in time. So we also have a new product of the month. Oh my goodness, it's all happening today. Today's been a big day in our little corner of the world. So I hope that you guys will go and check out those things, because there's some beautiful things. If you're a demonstrator, you already have access to them, and you've had access for the last month or so. If you're not a demonstrator, you're a customer, everyone has access now. So you can go over there and see what we have. So I'm going to go back to comments, and I would like to see who already has it or is thinking of getting it, or wants to see what I'm going to do with it today to make the decision. Maybe you're sitting on the fence. Maybe you're not sure about it. So I'd love to know where you stand on this set, because it is a very, very beautiful set. So, all right, let's pull in the pieces to make our first card. Okay, so I've just got a card front size panel, which is 10 centimeters by 14.3. And this is the panel that just goes here. So it just goes on my card base like so. Okay, so let me put that back. All right. And we're not going to use the dies yet to make the water, but I am going to bring in, I like, when I'm doing some stamping on a big stamp like this, I like to have a paper piercing mat. Mine has seen better days. Look, it's a bit messy, isn't it? Oh well. Or you can even stamp, because there's a little bit of give in it, you can stamp on your silicone craft sheet. That would also work for you. So there's a couple of options. We will probably do ours today on here. And we have some choices. Okay, if you want the waves to be looking like they're coming in on the beach, because this is what I wanted here, you want the waves to look like they're coming in on the beach. So you can have them coming from the top, or you could have them, coming from the bottom, either way. So the only thing is, if you have them coming from the bottom, it kind of looks like you could be looking at, deeper water out to sea. Whereas I feel like this looks like it's coming in because you're standing on the beach. So totally up to you, of course, but either way looks good. All right, so I'm going to use a big block. If anyone still has eye, the eye blocks that we used to have. That actually is a good size to work with this, but we don't actually offer that size anymore. So you wouldn't be able to buy it now. But if you have one in your collection, if you've had one for a while, then you may find eye is a really good size. I'm just going to put this on block F. Obviously, it works on block F. Oh, yes, footprints would be nice. And Lorraine said she's going to reserve her judgment. Oh, sorry, Lorraine. Maybe you should look away. Cherie's telling us that she has it and it's amazing. A real step up from the last bundle on the ocean. That was called Waves of the Ocean, that one. It is different. It's the closest to that one that I've seen, but it is different. So I'm going to have my waves coming down from the top, and I'm going to actually put a piece of paper over here just so I don't make quite so much mess on my, I probably should have been doing that all along, and then I wouldn't have a messy piercing mat, right? And I'm going to start with Coastal Cabana. Okay. When I did these, this one is Coastal Cabana. I don't know if you can see, this one's quite a bit brighter. This one is Summer Splash. And I thought I would use Summer Splash on there because, well, Summer Splash doesn't have much longer to go. It's a color that's going to be retiring next month, or towards the end of next month, most likely. So I'm actually going to use Coastal Cabana here, though. And we're going to start by inking it up, the whole stamp here. Now, this is... it doesn't actually say it on the packaging, but I'm pretty sure this is a distinctive stamp. It doesn't say it because it gives me kind of like almost a watercolor look. And I don't know if you can kind of see, it's not completely even. Can you see that? So I'm going to have it. So we're going to start here. Doesn't matter. It doesn't quite go over the corners, because I'm going to build up my color as I work my way down. Okay. Can you see what I mean about it not being completely even? It gives you kind of almost like a watercolor look, like a mottled look. And it's really nice. I love that, because water isn't all the same, right? So I'm now going to come in and I'm going to do this again, but I'm not going to line it up exactly where it was before. I'm going to move it a little bit so that my water isn't all the same, like I haven't got them matching up the same points, if you like. All right, so it looks like this. And you can, I'm going to go 3 times, I think. I think on the first one I only did it twice. You could have it, you could go with a lighter color too. You can go in Pool Party if you wanted to. Maybe start darker. All right, so that's how this is looking right now. Okay, and then I'm going to clean my stamp because I'm not going to do any more Coastal Cabana. And I'm actually going to get some pretty peacock, and I'm going to make my water out here, further out, because this is the edge where it's kind of coming on the sand. This is going to be darker out here. It's deeper water. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to pop this on here, and we're going to ink it up this time with some pretty peacock. And I've got my paper towel here, because sometimes with a big stamp, it's hard sometimes to not get ink on your block. And if you're worried about that, then you can clean up as you go. You know, like we're going to go around here and we're going to get rid of what's on our block just so we don't transfer it to our paper. Right, now this time I'm going to do my edge, and it's going to cover the corners as well. Remember, we didn't quite cover the corners before. Now we've got this getting darker as it goes. All right, and the one that's not, these two have been kind of stamped twice because we overlapped them. This one is only once, so it's lighter on the edge here. It looks like the water on your daily beach walk. Well, that sounds nice, Nicole. That's a nice way to do a morning, I think, going for a walk on a beautiful beach. I'm going to clean this up, so give me a second while I clean my stamp. All right, and I'm going to put that aside for the moment. And then I've got this one here. Okay, now I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a bit tricky to see, but you know, you can decide which edge you like. Either edge, we've got some like little bubbles along here, and we've also got some bubbles on this edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this white on the edge, so like the foam on the edge of my water. So what I want to do, we're going to be embossing that bit. So I'm going to get my embossing buddy. Embossing buddy is really important if you want to make sure that the area you've already stamped is not going to pick up any extra powder. So I'm going to go over it to make sure that this is completely powder free. There we go. All right, like that. And then I'm going to bring in my Versamark. I think I'm nearly due for a new Versamark pad. I think. Right, just going to ink that up. I find on a really big stamp, or when you're using a big block, it's easier to just turn your block upside down and ink it that way rather than trying to get your stamp onto the pad. So let's have, deciding which way I want this to go. I think I'll go this way. And we're just going to go over the edge of the last bit of Coastal Cabana ink that we did with the waves. And you really can't see that because Versamark is this clear sticky ink. So because it's clear, we really can't see anything. But I promise you, it does work. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into my tray, my embossing tray, and I'm going to get myself some white embossing powder. This is the Wow embossing powder that we sell in packs of 3. You get a basic pack which has white, black, and clear in it. But the white and the clear are the ones I use the most. There's also a metallics pack. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that there? So it's there you go. That's better. I can kind of see that. All right, so it's looking really nice. So if you haven't done embossing before, embossing is its own technique, heat embossing, and we will always have more heat embossing techniques because there's actually a lot of them. I've done many of these in my Technique Tuesdays before. I'm just popping all the powder back into there's a special tray that has a little plug that helps you put your powder straight back into the container and you don't make a mess. It's awesome. I love it. You could definitely do stormy clouds as well, Jeanette. That's a great idea. Yeah. All right. So I'm now going to grab my heat tool and I'm going to heat this. And we're going to make a nice white foamy edge to our waves. So if you're thinking, I haven't seen that stamp set before, that's because it was only released to customers today. So it's a good one. And there's a lot, you can get quite arty and there's a lot of technique involved if you want there to be. Right, so this is nearly done. All right, so can you see how this is looking? Now it doesn't really stand out very much. Okay, this is what I discovered when I did this as well. And I don't know if you see this one, it looks like there's more foam because guess why? We did it twice. So I did it, I heated it, and then I did it again. Okay, so I'm going to do that and we're going to make it a wider foam strip. So once again, I'm going to use my Versamark and make sure it's nicely inked up. Now, the first time I did this, see how we've got this like a separate bit here and here? That's this bit here and this bit there. I'm actually going to turn it around and we're going to do it the other way. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but this way means I have a couple of different shapes that won't compete with each other. So it's a good way to go. So I'm going a bit further down my page with the Versamark. Can't really see it, but when we put our powder on, you will. I could have also left the powder in the tray and just popped it, like picked up the powder rather than pouring it out again. But I do things the long way. That's just me. Anyone else? Always do things the more difficult way. I don't know why. All right. Can you see this now? We're getting more powder on and we're getting It looks good. Now, there are some little gaps in here. That's okay because that's how foam would be on the beach, right? So let's pour this back into my tub. Put the lid on so we don't spill it. Hi, Linda. Nice to have you here. All right. Ooh, that's some good thinking going on there, Nicole. All right, so I'm going to do this and heat the rest, and now we're going to have a wider foam piece, which I think is nice. And by turning it around, we get a bit more variety in the foam and how it looks. All right. Can we see this? Can you kind of see? There you go. Can you see how it's shiny and foamy looking? Looks good. Looks really good. All right. So now we get to the bit where we're going to do the beach. Okay. And for this, I decided to use my blending brushes. And I'm going to start. You guys know how much I love my blending brushes. I can't help myself. I just love them. And I'm deciding what color. I'm going to start with lemon lolly because that's the lightest yellow. So I'm just going to, I had some yellow, darker yellow on here, and I'm just brushing it to get it off. All right, because I was using this earlier. All right, so I'm going to go lemon lolly first because that is our lightest yellow, and then I'm going to go up to maybe darling duckling. I did last time I used daffodil as well, but I think maybe just the two this time. All right, so let's go lemon lolly. It looks quite bright yellow, but it's not. It's a soft yellow. All right. So I'm going to start. It doesn't matter so much down the bottom here because we're going to cover that with a darker color, but I'm just going to make my way up, and I'm going to go up into that white that we've just done. And just sort of around and around, which will give it a more even tone. All right, so can you start to see how this is looking now? Now, if I wanted to go a little higher, then I will get some yellow in between where there's gaps, and that's okay because it's like the sand appearing between the bits of foam. So I'm going to do that. All right, it's looking nice. Let's put the lid back on this one. And then I'm going to go up to Darling Duckling, which is quite a darker yellow. You could go all the way up to Crushed Curry if you want it to go really dark. So true, you could, Lani, although I'm not using that at the moment because it's not available right now. So it was available last month, the Stampin' Positioner. I'm assuming that's what you meant. And I'm now I've put mine away in my tool drawer to pull it out again when it's available for sale. That's just how I like to do things. I like to show you guys what you can get, not what you can't. So, all right. So I'm just going to go around and around and around, and I'm not going up as high this time. Can you see that? And so we have a darker color down the bottom here. Right, I can still see my circles a little bit, so I'm going to come back in and give it another go to start to really blend it together. All right, that's better. All right. How's it looking? What do we think? Do we like this? Now, a stamp that I didn't use last time, and I'm wondering if I should use, whether I should use the Darling Duckling or whether I should go into Basic Beige or Crumb Cake. But there is a stamp. Let me find it. This one here that you can go along the edges to make it look a little bit more sandy on the edges there. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do it with Darling Duckling. And if it's not dark enough, I can always go up to Basic Beige or Crumb Cake maybe. So let me find it. Here it is. And we're going to put it on a... It is pretty as an abstract pattern. And I think you're absolutely right. It's just it's open to a lot of interpretation. So can you see this little Let me turn it this way. It's like a little speckled. Let's see what it looks like in this. Yeah, I think maybe that is dark enough. What do we think? Do we like that? I'm going to put a couple more on, but without re-inking, to see if I can, I'll stamp it off, just to see if I can give it a little bit more speckled. All right, that looks better, I think. Can we see that? All right, so that's a little speckledy stamp that's meant to look like sandy grit on the edge of the water. Oh, your back is aching. That's no good. We don't like that. Okay. Right, so I'm liking how this is looking. It's coming together really, really nicely. And what I did with my original one was then I pulled out, even though I haven't used any dyes on here at all, I decided to go with the dyes that I have. And this one here is one dye, but it actually cuts them out all individually, this one here. Can you see this? So you cut just the once, but it cuts all the different shell shapes, which I think is really nice. And then we have the umbrellas. And I wanted to show you how to use these because they're kind of interesting. So this one here cuts the rings of the umbrella, and this one cuts a solid umbrella. Okay, so and you're right, Janine, it does look like a spider's web. I hadn't really thought of that until you said it, but you're right. And I decided to cut mine in Timid Tiger, okay, and then I did the rings in white to create the white stripes, okay? But you could have it the other way. You could have a white umbrella with orange stripes. It doesn't really matter. Just one will be one and one. So this was earlier, this is the bits I had left over from my, so this one, the outside edge would be white, and then we'd have a separate white. So this is cut from this because it cuts all 4 layers, okay? So let me put this through. This is going to be Timid Tiger. This is going to be white. And I'm just going to cut them very quickly through my cut and emboss machine. So first of all, I'm going to cut my Timid Tiger umbrella. And I really like these umbrellas. And I was thinking a row of umbrellas would actually be a really nice card as well. A row of umbrellas and maybe some shells in front for a totally different card. And I'm going to do some white stripes on my umbrella. I've actually already got another card in my mind that I only thought of just now. So I'll have to sit down and see how it works, if it comes together as it does. If it works in real life like it does in my head. All right, so this is the stripy bit, and this is the, hang on. I need my take your pick tool to push that out. There we go. All right, so this is the umbrella. Isn't that cool? And then these are the shapes, the stripes. All right, so if I wanted an orange umbrella with white stripes, you line up the points on these lines, right? So if I put them on the lines, that is how it's going to go. And you'll glue that into place. And then next one would be another stripe. And then we've got this one that goes in the middle, all right, and creates our little umbrella. How cute is that? Isn't that cute? I love this. All right, so that's really sweet. The other way around would be you would do on the same one, but you could have, a white and this piece inside. So, you can decide which way you want it to go. You can have the white bits or you can have the orange bits. All right, so I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to use that out of the way. I'm going to use some Tombow. And I'm just going to put my Tombow. You could use a glue dot too if you want it, or glue dots. You can go a number of different ways with this. So whatever glue floats your boat really is what you want to use. Right, so I'm lining up the ends of the points with the lines, and that's really easy to line up actually. And this one here, you could just glue this in the middle, or what I did with this one, I actually put a dimensional behind it and made it pop up a little bit. You don't have to do that. This time I think I'll just leave it flat, but you can go either way. So really easy to use and really easy to make cute umbrellas. Super, super cute. All right, so we have an umbrella there. All right, and then we also want to do this. Now, I did these in basic beige. Do you think that was the right color for those? Or should I have done them in white and added some ink to them? What do we think? Because I did basic beige and added a little bit of, I think it's Coastal Cabana I added to that. It is a bit cute, right, Lorraine? And a lot of fun. This is a really, really fun one to do. Oh, that's a good idea too, Nicole. Some really good ideas you guys have. You cut a thin strip of cardstock for the handle. Yes, you could. You could do that. But I'm just going to have mine, you know, there could be someone behind it. We don't know. We can use our imaginations. All right. So also don't forget, we've got a palm leaf here. I haven't used the palm leaf yet, but we have that. So I'm deciding whether I want to go, oh, Marilyn's saying white, and so did Nairi. But Joan said basic beige. Shells are not white, so beige is better, says Sheila. That's true, they're not. Crumb cake, says Jeanette. And actually, I think you were the first, Jeanette, I think. On my screen, it's showing that first. So, all right, let's go get the crumb cake out. And I will cut these. Oh, and I'm going to need my plate because I still had that on my desk from before. So let's cut out our shells. And I actually really like this shell die because I love that you only have to cut once and you get all of these different shells. And I love that. So I've just cut that. And look, there's my crumb cake. See, it cut them all out. Last time I had to push them out. This time I didn't. But isn't that a cute die? All right, I'll put that to one side. I've got my take your pick tool here. I'm just going to pull them off. And I put some of them flat and some of them on dimensionals just to create a bit of interest. All right, let me grab this and we'll put them on here and we'll give them a little bit of color, I think. So we'll go in and use the Coastal Cabana that we've used up here. And for that, I'm actually going to use a small blending brush. And I'm just going to pick up some color. One of the things that they recommended that we do in the virtual card making retreat is to put your finger on the back of the blending brush to help you control where the color ends up. I think that is a good idea. So I'm going to just add a little bit of, not a lot, but a little bit of color to these. Just a gentle, so they don't look, oh, that one's upside down. They don't look just crumb cake boring. And I guess you could use blends too if you wanted to, or some other coloring tool, but I'm just going really simple and keeping in with my blending brushes. All right. So can you see here, I did this big one, I did flat, and then I put the two little ones on dimensionals. I use mini dimensionals for these. These two are flat, that one's up, this one's down. So totally up to you how you do this. There is no right or wrong, but let's go ahead and glue these down. So I just put a bit of glue behind there. And I'm going to have that right there. And deciding maybe this one. I'm going to do them a different order than I did last time. There's no particular order. You can go with the order from, you know, what's in the die, or right. Let's see. This one I'm going to put on flat, I think. It's like a, as they call it, do we call that a conch shell? Is that what that is? I think it is. And then we'll have some mini dimensionals. Here we go. Let's put them just behind some of these shapes. I know I'm concentrating, so I'm not saying much. That's a very good idea, Nicole. This little guy is going to go up. And I might just pop this one down flat. There we go, like that. Aren't they cute? Super sweet. Oh, thank you, Kim. It's really easy with this set. You know, the water comes together really, really very simply. All right, so I'm going to have my umbrella right here. And I'm going to put it on dimensionals because I can and I think I should. This one I had going off the edge. I'm not going to do that this time. And I liked the words from the same set that says, hoping your day is perfect. I thought that was really nice. All right, just like, you can have it on whatever angle you like, but that's fine. And then we've got a happy birthday. Hoping your day is perfect, the one I used last time. A thank you. You're in my thoughts, and bon voyage. I was thinking too, because when I did the water for this, and it looked like it was, you could, if you have the sunrise sailing dies, those have retired now, but if you have any boats or punches, that we used to have a yacht punch, you could also add a yacht to a sea. I think that would look really nice. You want She'll Be Right, Mate. I don't think we have any of those, and maybe one day when I hit the million, maybe I should think about putting that in my $1 million set, Cherie. What do you think? She'll be right, mate. Let me see. Am I missing comments? No, I really can't, Jeanette. You know what? This is the cool thing. I don't have to be a good salesperson, all right? I don't have to sell anything. I just show you what I've got and I show you what I love. And if you like it, well, then you can get it too. But it's not a case of you have to have this or you have to have that, okay? Really, I don't feel like I do a lot of selling. I think I do a lot of showing. And, you know, I'd rather people make up their own minds than me try and convince them one way or another. So there we go. Oh, I'm really glad that you think so, Jeanette, about highlighting the stamp sets. Yes, that is what I am trying to do. All right, so I'm going to put a sentiment on here. This one doesn't have as much room as this one did, but maybe a small sentiment. Maybe just it's not very small. We've got a happy birthday and we've got the hoping your day is perfect again, which I think is a really nice, I'm going to do that one again because it's a nice sentiment. Yes, it's she'll be right. Not shell. Yes, it is. It is a very, very well-known Aussie saying. And I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock because this is the color that's at the top and it's our darkest color we used. I like to use a darker color. It does need a bit of dottage. I agree. I mean, we do have some along the water edge here, but I think it would be really nice if if we had some other dots. Hoping your day is perfect. Isn't that cute? So there we go. And then this will go on a pool party base. One of the things that I've been working on new thumbnails, and some of you would have noticed that I've got new thumbnails on my videos. And one of the things that was recommended to me is that I should only use one card, whereas I always used to put, if we made 2 cards, I would always put both cards on the thumbnail. But it actually told me, no, you should just be focusing on one. Don't confuse your audience. Just pick one. I'm like, really? It's really hard to choose one. I never know which one I like the best. How do I work that out? Oh, thank you, Joan. Yeah, this is a fun set for techniques. And that's what, when I saw it, I thought, oh, yeah, we can do some fun techniques with that. And that's so I bought this set with Technique Tuesday in mind, because I knew that I'd be able to have some fun with it. All right, so there we go. Now we have 2 cards. What do we think? Do we like it? All right, let's put that one aside. And I thought I would recreate this and show you how I did it. This one is landscape, okay? But I'm going to use different colors. I don't know how those colors are going to work out. It'll either look really good or we won't like it very much, and that's okay. If that happens, then I guess I'll be using the other card on the thumbnail. All right, so this time I wanted to use these dies to show you how to cut the waves and how the dies work together, okay? Who gets confused by 2? I don't know. But they say you should simplify. Everything should be more simple. All right, so I don't know if you can see here, but from here to here is actually the whole die. All right, so I cut this down a little bit more than a like so. Let me show you what I mean. I've got all the pieces here. I thought this time we might go with blueberry bushel. I thought I will give that a try, because blueberry bushel is a color I don't use very often, and I thought I would try blueberry bushel with azure afternoon. So these colors, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, but anyway, let's. Oh, I will always show 2 cards. We're talking about what appears in the thumbnail, okay? So I will still be showing 2 cards. All right, so I'm starting with a piece of basic white thick cardstock to be my card base. And I'm going to, oh, this one's got some marks on it. Let me quickly get rid of those, because this is the only thing I can't sell you that I'm using today. Everything else you see me using is available for sale in my online store on my blog. The address is in the description below this video. And also I pop it up on the screen from time to time as well. So, all right, this will be my front. I've got little messes everywhere, and I think it's because I got a bit of glue. I've got a bit of glue on my glass mat. That's why. All right. True. That is true. Okay. Oh, you guys. What are you most interested? Oh, seeing how we make the waves. That's the bit you're most interested in. Okay. So this one here, the big one, the biggest of the dies, okay, has like, what would you call this? Like the foam shapes. Can you see them here? Okay, the foam, and then on the top it's flat. And that is actually where this bit is where the foam the white foam goes. So you can see I've got these shapes here, but I did stamp underneath. Oh, and something else I thought about. I don't have the DSP, but the Beach Times workshop kit, and also the matching, is it called on the boardwalk or something like that? Hang on, let me get you the right name. It comes in DSP that's currently available in our mini catalog. If I search the word beach, it will come up for us. And it's also in here. So it's Beach Boardwalk is the name of the DSP. This is the scrapbooking kit, and then the Beach Boardwalk DSP is back here, okay, this one here. So can you see here we've got this lovely paper. I want to show it to you because this is perfect, okay, for going with the waves in this, okay? And I think that is really cool. And this one would look pretty nice as well. So it's white with like little wavy dots, little circles. I know this one is in the scrapbooking kit. Not sure about that one. Let me have a quick look and I want to show you what I mean. So you could cut this paper and then do the wavy shapes and the foam over the edge, and I think it would look really nice. And I'm busting to try it actually. So this one looks really nice. Look at that. Now that's an exclusive one to the kit though. Here we go. This is the one I was thinking of, right? Wouldn't that look nice done with this? And then you use the white foam over the edges. Okay, yeah, the wave crests. Thank you, Marilyn. That sounds much better than what I'm saying, foamy things. And then I love this paper. Look at the skies. Aren't they beautiful? So, yeah, this is a really, really, if you like this paper, it would go very nicely with this stamp set and bundle. So I just thought that was worth mentioning because those are all available at the moment. Now, what I want to show you here, this is if we're going to go landscape, okay, this full width of this doesn't reach from one side to the other. Now you could overlap it, but what I did was I put it on a smaller piece. So this goes from one side here. It just fits. Can you see that? And so this is 13.3 long and 9 wide. Okay, that is how wide I've made it. And if you're wondering what that is in inches, let me tell you. Quickly look at this. So that would be about 5¼ inches by 3.5. Okay, 5¼ by 3.5 is what you would need for this to go from one side to the other. And so I cut my paper accordingly. All right, so that's what this is. 13.3 by 9. That's what this piece of paper is. So I'm actually going to put this down. I'm going to stamp it first, and we're going to use the same stamp we used before, this one. And I want to show you, before we put the waves on, how it just looks like really deep, choppy, stormy water. Okay, so let's try. I might be giving myself problems here with this darker color, but let's see. I know it does look like the bottom of a swimming pool with the water coming through, or the sunlight coming through, right? That's what it looks like. All right, so this is Blueberry Bushel. And what I'm going to do here, let me put this, I'm going to bring this back in. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper at the same time. Oh, you can see this is what I've used before. So, all right. So it's not going, this stamp is not going to reach from one side to the other. The stamp is not as wide as the die. All right. So I'm going to come across here, and you can see straight away it's quite pretty. And in fact, I think this could almost look like mountains. Don't you think that could look like mountains? And then you could have some fun in watercolor with them. Oh, I've got some very fun ideas for things to do with this set that you'll be seeing me do. Oh my goodness. My mind is just about to explode because I'm thinking of all the cool things we can do. I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to overlap it. And let's see, this time I'm going to go right about here. So I'm covering the corners, but now we've got like overlapping. Okay. Dappled sunlight. That's it. That's it. Exactly the right words, Cherie. Oh, you have a stencil that makes a similar pattern. Ooh, that's cool. I know, it's very exciting paper. I agree, Tanya. It's really nice, and I really, really like it. All right. So I've done the darker color. You could keep going and then, keep going, and then you'll end up with like rows and rows of water. I'm just going to do the darker, and then I'm going to switch to Azure Afternoon. This is a color I don't use very often. In fact, I would say since this color came out, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've used it, which is a mystery to me because I love blues. So I don't know why I'm not using this color. Interesting. All right, so let's put this a little higher. And I don't know how we're going to go with these colors because I don't know whether they're going to work for us or not. but I'm just overlapping it. And what's nice about the wave dies, I said leaf die, but the wave dies, is they're going to cover some of this. Okay, so you're actually going to not see the line of difference between the two colors very much. Most crafters can't sleep at night for all the ideas we have. I know. Okay, here's my question for you, and I would love to know in the comments, where do you get your good ideas? If you're going to have a sudden inspiration of something and go, oh, wow, I just had this great thought, where does that come to you? Because I have a couple of times, I believe it's when your brain is most relaxed, when you are resting or relaxing, that tends to be when you have great ideas, because you have room in your mind for good ideas to come in when you're not as stressed and when you're not as busy. Okay, so I think, well, I get my best ideas when I'm driving. Sometimes when I'm driving, sometimes I get them in a dream at night, but mostly, and this is probably too much information, TMI, I get them in the shower. I often get ideas for cards in the shower. Don't you think that's crazy? All right, so I've got this piece here. All right, this is Azure Afternoon, and I'm going to, I'm wondering whether I should, should we do it in this color, or should we go lighter again and go balmy blue? Maybe. Let me have a quick look at how balmy blue would look, because these are all cool blues. See, that might work. I'm going to go balmy blue, I think. So I'm still going to stick with the Azure Afternoon for the stamping, but when you're out walking and don't have paper to write anything down, I know, but when I'm out walking is another one for me too, Janine. When we're in bed or sitting on the toilet. Well, that's probably TMI as well, Jeanette, but yep, you're probably right. It's when our brains are relaxed. And that's why taking a break is actually really important. All right, I'm going to cut this in this light color, and I'm going to quickly run this through my cut and emboss machine. And here's my plate. Still got that on the desk. And I'm just going to quickly run that through, and we're going to cut it in the lighter color. I think the lighter color might work better. So if it doesn't, we can always go back up to Azure Afternoon, but I think it will work. All right. So actually most of the all the pieces have fallen out on this. So let's see what this looks like with this lighter color. Oh yeah, see, I quite like this. All right, can you see the lighter color coming through? That looks really nice. All right, and then you can, up to you if you want. You could, this one here does like a foam, a white foam, if we want to do it in white, which I do, and then also leave some white pieces. So this is going to go, let's see, this is going to go on top of this. So we'll have some of the blue showing, and then we'll have the white showing, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to use this on a piece of white. And then we've also got like another row of white if you wanted to do a second row of white. I noticed in one of the samples in the online store that they've used this in white, and then they've added a second row and made a really white, extra white foamy piece. Okay, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to do the one, and I think it'll look really good. So just by layering these pieces, you're going to get really realistic waves. And I think it looks really, really cool. All right, so I've got this. I'm going to put that one back in here. All right, so here's the thing I want you to see. If you put this on here, look, it matches. Can you see that the shape actually matches? And this one does too. This one also matches. The two also match. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this one this time. I'm not going to do two, but I really like that they match together. So I'm going to put some glue on the back here. And if you do have these stamps and the dies, I would love to see what you guys do with them. If you're in Australia and you're part of my VIP group, I would love to have you submit your ideas and show me. Or if you're not part of that group, you can message them to me, but I would love to see what you've done with this. Kerry put up a beautiful card in our group the other day. Last week, was it, Kerry, I think? All right. So can you see that's just sitting nicely on top of there? All right. And then we're going to put this one down as well. So you want this to sit on here pretty well. You don't want it to be flapping around. So I put a reasonable amount of glue here. And then I went back down here. And any, what I'm going to call flappy bits that might flap around, like long skinny bits like these, I'm going to make sure I've got glue, a little bit of glue, very lightly, on all of those so they don't flap around. So let's, and then just a few more big drops of glue in some of the bigger areas of paper. Handle it pretty carefully, and we're going to pop that so it just appears, and we'll see, we still get to see that lovely azure afternoon popping through the holes there. So we haven't wasted the color, we're still seeing it. And look how nice that is. Oh, I made a mistake. I've just done something wrong. Okay, let me see if I can pull it off. I can. All right, I shouldn't put this on yet, because if I want to do a sky like this one, see how I did this one? I made it like a sunset sky. You'll want to do that before you put this piece on. Silly Billy me. Okay, now I've got glue everywhere, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and I'm going to tap that all over where I just put the glue, because that'll stop it being tacky. I'm just going to blow off the excess, and now that is not sticky at all. Okay, and I can come in with my blending brush and add some sky color. What color shall we go? Should we go? Let's go purples. Let's go purple sky, like a. You're tempted with the dyes. I know, Lorraine. They are fabulous, and I really think. I think if you have the stamps, you'd be kind of mad not to get the dyes because they complement it so well. Oh, you could die cut the second piece in vellum. How good would that look? Oh, you guys have the best ideas. All right, I am going to do, let me think. I think maybe I will come in with some fresh freesia and some Highland heather, and let's add a bit of like a purpley sky. What time of day? Is it sunset or sunrise, do you think? I mean, I think sunset is usually more, I don't know, maybe the sun's already well and surely gone down. Maybe that's what it is. All right, so I've got fresh freesia blending brush, and let me find a darker one for my Highland heather. Yeah, that one looks darker, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, so I'm going to start with fresh freesia being the lighter color, and it might mess up a little bit, even though we've embossing buddied this. It might, but that's okay because we're going to cover it. So mine too, Nicole. I know, right? ADHD, I reckon. That's what they say. So I'm going to just come down here, and I'm going to stop short of the line of water because we don't need to go that low. And the sky is going to be, it's going to look a little bit blobby as we get started, but then as we add the darker color, it will even out. So just trust the process. And this is, and I'm stopping just short of this. All right. I always think it looks, apart from the fact that you can see where I put the glue the first time, I actually always like that there's a little bit of a gap, like a white gap between the tops of mountains or the tops of water and your sky. I think that is always a good look. Now I'm going to get the Highland heather. If it's not dark enough, we can also whack in some gorgeous grape. Yes, squirreling. Did anyone ever see the movie Up? Because one of my favorite things about that whole movie is where the dogs keep getting distracted and they go squirrel, and they stop whatever they're doing and look around because they're looking for the squirrel. I love that. I just think it's, yeah, so appropriate, don't you think? That's my favorite thing about that movie, I think, is the squirrel moments. All right. So just ignore these bits of glue that I've got here. And then let's, maybe I'll add a tiny bit of Gorgeous Grape just to the very top. I think that might work. So this is Gorgeous Grape. It's the next darker purple, and it's just going to give me some nice purple right at the very, very top here. A little bit longer than usual today. I like to have these videos done in an hour, but we are not far off finished. All right, so liking this. All right, so now let's put a little bit more glue on this again because it's kind of started to dry. And let's see if we've got enough glue on our flappy bits that they won't flap from before. What do we think? Do we like this? And then you could, like I said, you could put a boat in here if you have one of the boat sets. Right. And I am literally just playing at this point. And that is my favorite thing to do with paper craft, with stamps, ink, and paper, is to just play. And, you know, if you can, that's what they say, creativity is just really playing. So let's go 13.8. So I'm going to go 0.5 centimeter bigger on each side, and I'm going to, I could have done this with, maybe I should have done it with the blueberry bushel, but let's see how it looks with the Azure Afternoon. If this is not right, then we'll, what do you think? Do we like this color on here like that? Or should we have gone up to the darker color? Actually, I don't mind that. I think it's pretty good. Yes, of course, Gina. Yep. So I'm using the dies. They're right here. Can you see them? And we've got all these lovely layers of waves. And then we've got the dies that cut out the shells. And we've got little starfish and palm trees. And we've also got the umbrellas. Okay. And so if you go back and watch the replay of this video, you'd see how we put the umbrellas together. And this is the look that you get with your umbrella. Okay. Like this. They're all the shells. And then we have the waves coming down from above, and we have some foam here and some like sand on the edge of the beach. That's what we did first. And then this one, I'm just going to put this on this Azure Afternoon piece of cardstock. It would look good with the sailboat, don't you think? The dies, those dies have gone, but the stamp set is still available currently in Australia at the time that I'm saying this. So I looked just before this video to see if it was still available, and it was. Okay. So this is how this ends up looking. And I like this, like you've got like a gradient of color coming up from the top here, from the bottom. And you've also got, you know, the mottled look of the water. And then that's carried through with the dies as well. So it is really stunning. Such a lovely set. And if I was to pick which one of these should go on the thumbnail, or if I was to pick which card we prefer, which one would you prefer? I haven't put the sentiment on yet, don't forget. And I'm going to put this with some dimensionals behind. So let me grab those. 1, 2. And then we're just about ready to say goodbye. Can you believe it? That went fast. Time always flies when you're having fun, right? So what do we think? Do we like this? So I changed the colors up just to see. And here's a rule of thumb. When you're doing colors, it's a good idea to stick with, if you are using like cool blues, such as these ones. So Azure Afternoon, Blueberry Bushel, and Balmy Blue are all cool blues. Night of Navy would also be in there as well, and Misty Moonlight. These are warm blues. So, you know, they're more blue-green. So you've got, you know, your teals, your Pretty Peacock, Summer Splash, Coastal Cabana, Pool Party. Those are all your warmer blues. So I would stick, whichever ones you are using, stick with the same cool or warm all the way through. So this is what we've ended up with. And I'm going to just, well, I'll pop these two here because they're the two we actually made in the video. What do you think? Do we like them? There you go. I'm just reading comments very quickly and seeing if I've missed anything. Yes, Donna, I always make sure I pre-record before I go away, but I'm actually only away. I've only got to pre-record one because I'll have a Technique Tuesday and I don't leave until Thursday morning. So I'll pre-record the Friday night one. And then I'll be back again by the time we get back to Tuesday. So yes, that's all fine. You won't have to miss anything. Don't worry. And I do the same thing when I do my trips as well. So when I go on one of the Stampin' Up! Incentive trips, I always pre-record before I go. It nearly kills me usually before I go. I'm recording for what feels like weeks, but it's absolutely worth it when I'm away and I can relax. So, all right, let me click back. Okay. All right. So how do we do? Did you like looking at how this rolling wave set works? And did it give you some ideas of things that you can do with it? Coming with, the blues and purples. You like those ideas? Excellent, Lani. We love to inspire. It's hard to pick one, isn't it? No, this Friday I'm around. I don't leave until Thursday of next week. So, yeah, this week I'm still here. And then next week I'll be off to Onstage, which will be fun. There you go. I love it too. I think this is a really good set. So you have the dies with the different waves that you can layer, and then you have the rolling waves stamps. Once again, even though this is there's only two, there's a foam and there's a main one, you can layer them and you can put them so they don't match up perfectly, and then you end up with all these different shapes. And I think that's a really nice idea. You are so welcome. Thank you, guys. All right. Have a fantastic week ahead. I will see you all again on Friday evening. Don't forget, if you wish to shop with me, you can head over to my blog there at www.lookwatimade.com.au. And if you'd like to receive a newsletter, that's also where you go to do that. And our product of the month is live, and you can order that for $9 with any order of $125 or more. So lots and lots of fun things to explore and have fun with at the moment. So I hope that you will, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.